about that. There we are. Great. This is a live session which is going to last for about half an hour, and we're going to do an exercise on conditionals in English. Right? So get ready, because we're going to talk about exercise number 2, right? Okay. In the meantime, I'm cooking. I'm cooking today again. I'm cooking some chips, you know, fried chips. Let me get started with that as you join in. And please let me know where you're watching me from. Don't forget to introduce yourselves in the chat, right? All right, so we've got sentences in, do you know conditional sentences in English? Do you know them? These are the sentences that begin with if. If I do something, something else will happen. If I did something, something else would happen. Right? And if I had done something, something else would have happened. You can say also, or you've got different variations of this structure. Just give me 1 second. Okay, there you go. Hello. Welcome to this live stream. Welcome to this chat. I don't like how that looks. Let me put it here. No, that looks awful too. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Yeah. Hello. Hello. Welcome to this live stream. Where are you watching me from? That's better, isn't it? You can introduce yourselves. You can tell me your names and where you're watching me from. We're talking about conditionals in English. And basically, we're going to do this exercise number 2. Right? You've got to find and correct the mistakes in each sentence. What about sentence number 1? Find and correct the mistakes in that sentence. Can you do that? Can you find and correct the mistakes in that sentence? So we've got, if my grandfather were still alive, he will be 100 today. Is that correct? If my grandfather were still alive today, he will be 100 today. What's the problem there? There's a problem in the second part of the conditional sentence, where it says he will be 100 today. Will is not the correct word there. Which is the correct word? Not will, he. You can drop your answers in the chat. This is in fact, this is a second conditional clause, a second conditional sentence, right? So we're talking about a hypothetical situation, a hypothetical condition that would lead to a hypothetical consequence, a hypothetical situation. So, which is the correct word there? Sorry about the noise. I'm cooking some chips. So, sentence number one, in sentence number one, the correct answer is would. He would be 100 today. Why? Because if we use were in the first part, in the if clause, in the if parts, if something were the case, in this case, if my grandfather were still alive, we have to use in the second part the word would. W-O-U-L-D, would, not will. Right? He would be 100 today. Will is used in the first conditional, not in the second conditional, okay? In this case, we are clearly talking about something hypothetical, something not real, because this person's grandfather is not alive. He's died, right? He has passed away. So he's talking about a hypothetical situation, and so we need to say he would be 100 today. That's a hypothesis, a hypothetical situation, not real. Okay, so any questions in the chat, guys? You can let me know where you're watching me from. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to continue cooking, right? So, shall we move on to sentence number 2? Okay. All right, let's crack on. So, sentence number 2, that's, if it rained, we swam every afternoon in the indoor pool. Which is the mistake there? What mistakes can you find there? If it rained, we swam every afternoon in the indoor pool. If it rained, that's a hypothetical condition. Okay? If it rained, it's not raining, if it rained. So hypothetically speaking, if it rained, it's not raining now, but if it rained, what do you need in the second part? If it rained, second sentence, if it rained, we would. Would, and do you say would swam? Because swam is the past simple of the verb swim, right? Swim is in the infinitive, that's the swim, right? Swam in the past, so in this case, we would swim. After would, after modal verbs such as would, the verb goes in the infinitive, in the bare infinitive. So we say we would swim every afternoon in the indoor pool. Okay? So we would do that if it rained, but it's not raining. It's a hypothetical condition we are imagining, we are talking about. Okay? So, alright, that's sentence number 2. What about sentence number 3? That's, if I would know her name, I'd tell you. What problems can you spot in that sentence? If I would know her name, I'd tell you. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? If I would know her name, you wouldn't say if I would know her name, usually. In the if parts, you don't use would, okay? You don't use will, usually. You say, if I knew her name, okay? If I knew her name, hypothetically speaking, if I knew her name, which means I don't know her name right now. I mean, hypothetically speaking. So, if I knew her name, I tell you. I would tell you, right? I would tell you. If I knew her name, if that were the case, if I knew her name, I would tell you. Okay, would plus tell. I would tell you. Although you can say there, I tell you. I apostrophe D plus the verb in the infinitive. I would tell you. So this means if hypothetically speaking, I knew her name. I don't know her name actually, but if I did know her name, if I were to know her name, I would tell you. I would tell you, right? I would let you know. Okay, so that's sentence number 3. Let's move on to sentence number 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences to go. Okay, so sentence number 4. If I will have my mum's car tomorrow, I could give you all a lift. That sounds weird, doesn't it? If I will have my mum's car tomorrow, I could give you all a lift. What's the problem with that sentence? What is the problem with that sentence? You can drop your answers in the chat. You can ask anything in the chat. right? So just give me 1 second and I'll give you the answer. It sounds a bit off, that sentence. It sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? So it says, if I will have my mum's car tomorrow, I could give you all a lift. So this is the conditional part, the if part. You don't usually say if I will, usually. Maybe if I had my mum's car tomorrow, right? Or if I have my mum's car tomorrow, I could give you all a lift. Yeah, it's likely, right? We're talking about something likely. If this person has his mum's car, the next day he could, right? The things that could also is usually used in the second conditional, right? So it might be, if I had my mum's car tomorrow, yeah. But the thing is that if you talk about tomorrow, you would usually go for the first conditional. If I have my mum's car tomorrow, right? If I have my mum's car tomorrow, this is, if this happens tomorrow, I can give you all a lift. I would go to, I can give you all a lift. Or I will be able to give you all a lift. So something, if this happens, something else will happen. Something else is likely to happen. When we talk about things that are likely to happen, we talk about the first conditional sentences, right? And yeah, just give me 1 second. Yes, just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is, let me check something. Let me check something. There's some additional information I'd like to share with you. And here it is. So let's move on to the next sentence, all right? Sentence number 5. I'd go by train rather than by car, if only the country has better trains. I'd go by train rather than by car, if only the country has better trains. What's the problem with that one? What is the problem with that one, guys? So, okay. Right. So, okay. So in number 4, the correct answers could be if I had my mum's car tomorrow, as I told you before, or if I have. Yeah. If I had or have, both are possible, because you can say, if I had my mum's car tomorrow, if I had, like talking about something hypothetical, I could give you all a lift, or if I have my mum's car tomorrow, as I told you before, in the first conditional, right? So both make sense. Yeah, I kind of knew that. Because both make sense, right? Both make sense. The present, first conditional and the second conditional make sense there. Okay, let's move on to sentence number 5. I'd go by train rather than by car. If only the country has better trains. In that case, if only the country had better trains. Right? Because you're talking, if only the country had better trains, I would do something. So if only the country had better trains, if only something were the case, I would do something else. All right? So that's the way we use, this is a kind of second conditional clause, right? A second conditional sentence. If only something were the case, I would do something. You know, talking about a hypothetical condition and consequence. Okay? So, what about number 6? Let's move on to number 6. I'll pass on your message if I will see them. I will pass on your message if I will see them. There's a problem there. I'll give you 1, 2 or 2 minutes to spot the problem and how we can correct it. What do you think? What's the problem with that one? The sentence is number 6, isn't it? I'll pass on your message if I will see them. Do you say if I will see them? In both parts of the sentence using will, I'll pass on your message if I will see them. We usually use will in only one part of the sentence. So in this case, you will say, I'll pass on your message, right? This is something I will do. Maybe I'm promising to do something, promising you to do something, right? I'll pass on your message if I see them, right? If I see them, I will pass on your message, okay? So if something happens, something else will happen. That's a first conditional sentence, isn't it? Sorry, those are the chips. And, yeah. So, if I, for example, if I see you tomorrow, I don't know. Or if I see them tomorrow, I'll let you know. I will let you know. Okay? I'm promising you to do something if something else happens in the future. And in first conditional sentences, when we talk about the future in the parts, in the if parts, if I see you, we use the present tense there, okay? If I see you, if I see them, in this case, if I see them, right? If I see them, and that see, in that case, refers to the future, not to the present. If I see them, I'll pass on your message. I will pass on your message. Okay? So I will do something if something else happens. That's a first conditional sentence. It's used to talk about something likely, right? Something that will likely happen. unlike second conditional sentences, which refer to hypothetical situations, not real. First conditional sentences refer to real situations, real conditions and real consequences. Okay? So, for example, in one of my latest episodes on the channel where I played Resident Evil 2 remake for the PS5, we came across some first conditional sentences. I'm not sure if you know this game, if you're familiar with the game, but at one point, the protagonist, one of the protagonists, Leon S. Kennedy, bumps into another police officer, Marvin, and that officer tells Leon, if you aren't careful, this place will eat you alive. Or I think that he says, this place will eat you alive if you aren't careful, okay? If you are not careful, that's present simple, this place will eat you alive, okay? And in that case, he's using a first conditional sentence to give a warning. He's giving Leon a warning. He's telling him, okay, if you're not careful, this place will eat you alive. This place will kill you, okay? And so it's it is not uncommon to find first conditional sentences when we talk about, for example, that there's a dangerous situation coming up, right? And you know the dangers of being in that situation. So you know that the other person and the other person, the one you're talking to, will go through that situation. So you tell them, okay, if you're not careful, this will happen. So that's a typical context for first conditional sentences. And, okay, so this happens in Resident Evil 2 Remake. What else? All right, let's move on to the next sentence. Sentence number 7. If she goes to the concert tomorrow, I go too. Right? If she goes to the concert tomorrow, I go too. What's the problem with that sentence? What's the problem? What's the correct version? Let's put it that way. How can we correct it? So if we say, if she goes to the concert tomorrow, that's if she goes, if plus present simple. Present simple here refers to the future, right? This is a first condition. At least this part belongs to a first conditional sentence, right? Where in the if part, you usually use the present tense to refer to the future. So she goes to the concert tomorrow. If that happens, something else will happen. So I'll go to. You can say I apostrophe double L, I will, meaning I will go to. I'll go to. You can say that I'll go to or I will go to. However, usually in spoken English, you would say I'll go to. You would go through the contraction between I and will. I'll go to, rather than I will go to, which is more common in written English, but Anyway, all right. Great. Any questions? Hello, hello. Am I pronouncing your name right? Sidhu? Is it Sidhu? Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Alex's Adventures in English. Where are you watching me from? And do you have any questions about this session, about any of these sentences we've been correcting? Now we're talking about sentence number 8. All right. But Sidhu, am I pronouncing your name right? You let me know. Okay, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from and if you've got any questions. So sentence number 8, the last sentence in this live stream. Okay, because we don't have much time to keep doing exercises. So let's have a look at that sentence. If I would bring my laptop, would it be possible to have it repaired? Yeah, would it be possible to have it repaired? Would it be possible to have it repaired? I don't like that sentence. If I would bring my laptop, that seems to be a kind of second conditional sentence, but don't forget that the would part doesn't go in the if part, right? Conditional sentences always have two parts. The if part, which introduces the condition, and the other part, which refers to the consequence of, the condition mentioned in the if parts. So here we've got a problem because it says if I would bring my laptop, how would you correct that? Usually this is taught in this way, that you would use here in a second conditional sentence right after the if, the simple past, right? So usually that would be, how would you correct it? Can you drop your answer in the chat? Can you drop it in the chat? If you've got any questions. So you can say, if I brought my laptop, why brought? Because the past, the simple past of bring is brought. Okay? That's the British English pronunciation. But you say, if I brought my laptop, would it be possible to have it repaired? Right? Would it be possible to have it repaired? So we're talking about a hypothetical situation. If I brought my laptop, meaning I'm not sure if I'm going to bring it. I'm not sure if I'll actually do that. So that's why I'm saying, if I brought my laptop, if that hypothetical situation were to happen, would this consequence take place? Specifically in the sentence, this person says, Um, would it possible? Would it would it possible to have? Would it be possible? That's the problem with that one. Would it be possible? Would it be possible to have it repaired? There's a problem there. There's a missing verb. Would it be possible? Right? You need a verb because otherwise it would be. Would it possible to have it repaired? Would it possible? That's wrong. Would it be possible to have it repaired? Right? Would it be possible to have it repaired? That's a question, but let's suppose that in the affirmative that would be, it would be possible. It would be possible to have it repaired. It would plus the verb in the infinitive, the bare infinitive, it would be possible to have it repaired. So we need the verb be there. The bare infinitive of the verb be in English. Would it be possible to have it repaired? Okay? Does that make sense to you? You can drop your comments and questions in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to get another potato. Actually, I would say a yeah, so another potato. We've got this one, a potato. Any questions, guys? All right, I think that's it, isn't it? We've nailed this exercise, and that's all for today. But if you've got any questions, you can drop them in the chat below. What we did today was to do this exercise number 2. And we worked on conditional sentences. All right? Do you have any doubts? Do let me know in the chat. You can greet me in the chat. You can tell me where you're watching me from. And if you're new to the channel, are you new to the channel, to Alex's Adventures in English? If you are, you can let me know in the chat. In the meantime, I'm cooking some chips. And did you know that in the UK, these are called chips? Chips, right? Fried chips, but in the US, these are called French fries. You get French fries, but in the phone call coming in. All right, that was strange. Okay, guys. So, do you have any other questions? Do you have any other doubts about this topic? All right. Hello there. Where are you watching me from? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Alex's Adventures in English. we are working on conditional sentences on exercise number 2. That exercise you've got to do is to spot the mistakes and correct them, right? And that's what we did. Okay? All right, guys. It's been great to see you there. Thank you very much for joining this live stream. And this has been Alex's Adventures in English. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. Okay? And I hope to see you soon. Alright? Although I can see some people there. Hello, hello, hello. You can introduce yourselves, of course. Alright, guys. I'll leave you to it. And I hope to see you soon. Alright? Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.